Were it not restricted to the waters, Carcharodon ultramegalodon would be one of the most dangerous creatures on the island. As powerful and dangerous as the Tyrannosaurus is on land, Megalodon is near its equal in the water. In addition, it has a speed advantage over any non-aquatic creature when submerged. Megalodons need large quantities of food to sustain themselves, so they attack most creatures immediately on sight. Smaller fish are the sole exception I've seen. I believe this is because they cost more energy for megalodons to catch than the predator would gain. Having access to the resources and treasures hidden deep within the ocean is near impossible without a domesticated sea creature. The megalodon, though difficult to domesticate, proves to be very useful when exploring the deep sea. It's not the most efficient swimmer, but it should be able to protect your cargo should you find yourself in a hostile encounter. Among the island's swamp-based threats, Sarcosuchus excubita is a lot like what you might expect from a giant crocodile, a patient killing machine. It spends most of its days lazily waiting in the water for prey to walk near. That said, it is not opposed to scurrying onto land and pressing the issue when hungry. A good tactic for escaping many predators is to jump into the water, as most are slow swimmers. This is a bad tactic for escaping a Sarcosuchus, obviously, as they are actually faster in the water than they are on land. Whether in land or water, it utilizes a well-rounded arsenal of attacks to display its prowess as a hunter. If it desires to grab a predator and spin into a death roll, quickly lunge forward for a surprise attack and target a foe directly behind it. It's able to do so with extreme ease. Sarcosuchus is a ferocious creature that even causes the fearless piranha to flee at the sight of it. Despite being river-dwelling creatures, Sarcosuchus seem quite at ease in the oceans. More than a few fishing communities use them as mounts, simply to help fight off megalodons, or to gain better access to resources found within the reefs. Lyopleurodon Magicus is a mid-sized ocean creature, typically between 20 and 25 feet long. I've yet to directly encounter one myself, but from the tales other tribes have shared, it compares to no other on the island. The rumours indicate that this beautiful creature has magical properties. However, the sightings are so rare, it's hard to decipher old tribes' tales from the underlying truth. They say that Lyopleurodon is an elusive creature that can harness its magical powers to retreat from predators or aggressors of any kind, but the beekeeping tribes claim that their honey is so sweet, not even the Lyopleurodon could resist. Lyopleurodon is rumoured to bring good fortune to those adventurous enough to tame it. With the Lyopleurodon by their side, tribes have apparently managed to obtain treasure beyond their wildest dreams. Supposedly, even after you've gained its favour, it remains incredibly aloof and will eventually use its abilities to escape even the strictest of captivity. The Eutyrannus savus is believed to be related to the Tyrannosaurus rex, but it is noticeably different upon first glance. Feathered creatures are not necessarily viewed as dangerous predators in the same light as other theropods. However, the Eutyrannus strikes fear into even the island's most skilled hunters. There are few wild predators that are able to pack hunt alongside the generally hostile Carnotaurus, like the Eutyrannus does, with such ease. It is also the only creature I've seen to consistently induce a state of panic in opponents with its roar. Upon hearing it, most creatures in the area will flee for safety. A domesticated Eutyrannus can be a powerful offensive or defensive addition to war parties. With its mighty roar, it can induce fear in opposing creatures. Meanwhile, Eutyrannus can be trained to develop a confidence-boosting battle cry, which counteracts enemy attempts to induce fear, while also bolstering the resolve of allies, and may even draw wild Carnotaurus to its aid. These unique leadership qualities make the Eutyrannus a versatile and, at times, a necessary creature to have on your side during large-scale confrontations. Dunkleosteus loricorruptor is a very strange creature. It is a fairly large fish, covered head to tail in armoured plates, with incredibly powerful jaws. It tends to eat the island's water-dwelling crustaceans, trawling the seabed, as it is not fast enough to catch most of the smaller fish. Dunkleosteus is surprisingly combat-oriented for a fish. Its well-armoured body protects it from many creatures, while its bite is strong enough to easily crush through chitinous shells. Dunkleosteus is an incredibly useful fish for coastal communities. Its powerful jaws make short work of the stone and oil formations found throughout the oceanic depths. While harvesting, Dunkleosteus can defend its rider from all but the largest threats in the water. And once it is past its prime, the Dunkleosteus itself can be harvested for a fair amount of chitin. One of the stranger creatures in the waters surrounding the island is Basilosaurus salatium fecit. It's a powerful swimmer which is adapted to the shallows so remarkably well that it rapidly recovers from injuries when near the water's surface. Conversely, it's vulnerable to deep water pressure, which slowly causes it harm. Basilosaurus is usually closely followed by other predatory creatures, as its eating habits leave plenty of scraps for scavengers to consume. It is a gentle creature towards humans, and happily laps up food directly from them. However, the creatures that trail the Bassi tend to become dangerously enraged whenever this occurs, as it leaves no leftovers for them. Despite the hassle of engaging with its ornery followers, many tribes still attempt to tame the Basilosaurus, as its mammalian, warm-blooded circulation provides a rider with perfect comfort from both heat and cold. Being apprehensive in nature, Basilosaurus is equipped with a defense mechanism that prevents it from being stunned or shocked. Alternatively, Basilosaurus is hunted, perhaps too vigorously, for its special blubber, which can be efficiently refined into gasoline. Arguably the deadliest creature on the island, Tyrannosaurus dominum is a killing machine. Active mostly when hunting for food or defending its nest, a good plan is to avoid every Tyrannosaurus. It is pure power, from its stomp to its tail to its bite. It is not able to intimidate every foe with its roar, but upon hearing it, it might scare the poop out of you. Quite literally. Despite being a different subspecies of Tyrannosaurus, everyone I've met still refers to them as a Rex or a T-Rex. I've long since stopped trying to convince anyone, especially the few who I've encountered wearing Tyrannosaurus teeth as necklaces. Taming a Tyrannosaurus is without a doubt the goal for any warlord or warring tribe. Tyrannosaurus is a fierce battle companion. There is a reason Tyrannosaurus is considered the king of dinosaurs, or in this genus, the Lord. Any tribe that manages to tame one has almost nothing to fear. Among the few carnivores on the island that can match Tyrannosaurs in size, Spinosaurus aquareliga does not match its ferocity. Spinosaurus's 4 legs and large sail make it fairly swift on land and incredibly fast in water. Its marvel is, arguably, the ability to change stances by going from quadruped to biped. The creature is visually distinguished by its spectacular sail. In my travels, I have seen many different and brightly coloured sails, as every Spinosaurus appears to have a slightly different palette. The one comforting fact about Spinosaurus is that it seems more at home near water than away from it. Although the creature is more powerful, faster, agile, and insatiable while in water, it tends to become less hostile as it gets farther from it. On one occasion, I only escaped a Spinosaurus by getting far enough from its lake home to make it simply lose interest. Spinosaurus is an incredibly well-rounded apex carnivore. Faster than a Tyrannosaurus in water and able to travel on land unlike a Megalodon, its all-terrain versatility may be unrivaled. Although its movement speed is slower in a biped stance, it gains considerable attacking strength and mobility in this form. For hunters who wish to have a well-rounded mount, Spinosaurus may be the ideal choice if they can acquire one. Elasmosaurus remispisa is typically found in the deep oceans and has a strange role in the oceanic food chain. It almost exclusively hunts the smaller creatures in the waters, leaving most even moderately large creatures alone. The sheer size of the Elasmosaurus means that the quantity of food it must eat to sustain itself is nothing short of enormous. Elasmosaurus is a formidable fighter. Aside from the Megalodon, I have only ever seen 2 creatures bring down an Elasmosaurus, a Mosasaurus, and human beings. Though I will admit, I have yet to thoroughly explore the staggeringly deep underwater caverns surrounding the island. Much like the Brontosaurus on land, Elasmosaurus is an excellent way to transport large quantities of goods over water. These powerful creatures are in fact so large that they can be used as mobile water bases. Ambitious tribes sometimes build bunkers right onto the backs of Elasmosaurus instead of building cargo ships. Giganotosaurus furiosa is an enormous predator, larger even than the Tyrannosaurus or Spinosaurus. Getting cornered or run down by a Giganotosaurus can mean certain death for nearly any creature. Fighting a Giganotosaurus directly is never a good idea, as its rage rapidly grows with every hit it takes. With this rage, it builds increasing reserves of energy to use, making its iron-jawed bites progressively more deadly and enhancing its stamina. Add this to the fact that its huge body also enables it to take a tremendous amount of punishment, and you have a creature that is generally better avoided or outsmarted than attacked head-on. Taming Giganotosaurus is a dangerous prospect. Its rage reaction, even when tamed, can sometimes cause it to briefly turn on members of its own tribe. Indeed, it may even throw off its rider if it has been sufficiently angered. And yet, the sheer size and immense power that the Giganotosaurus possesses means that some factions endeavour to tame it as a fear-inducing capital beast of war, even at great risk. Despite being one of the island's largest creatures, Diplodocus insula princeps is among the island's smaller sauropods. Instead of size and intelligence, Diplodocus develop faster maximum speed and greater endurance. When fully matured, it generally only reaches about half the size of the rather enormous Brontosaurus. Diplodocus is another creature whose continued survival on the island confuses me. It's a very thick-headed and trusting animal, often to its fatal detriment. It never flees from predators until after they've attacked it repeatedly, preferring instead to make numerous fruitless attempts at friendship. For some strange reason, Diplodocus trusts humans so much that it doesn't seem to fight back against them, ever. Due to Diplodocus's small frame, it cannot support the type of platform saddle that other large creatures can. To make up for this, many tribes instead use an 11-seater passenger saddle, which enables Diplodocus to safely transport 10 additional riders. These passengers often use ranged weapons to protect the creature or to attack nearby enemies while on the move. Until recently, I believed the Megalodon to be the greatest of the ocean predators. Then, I discovered Mosasaurus suspirita in the deeps. Not quite as fast, but much larger and stronger, the Mosasaurus rules the darkest waters of the island. Growing up to 50 feet long, Mosasaurus is larger than almost every other aquatic creature I've encountered thus far. Mosasaurus is a deep-sea marine lizard which spends all of its time far beneath the water's surface. It is without a doubt one of the most fearsome creatures of the island, and can certainly be considered among the ocean's apex predators. Mosasaur has proven to be an excellent tame for the most advanced tribes. Due to its sheer size and power, you will often find tribes with bases and defences built upon a Mosasaur's large platform saddle. Having one with you as an escort is probably one of the best oceanic defences available. Among giant creatures I've seen on the island, Brontosaurus lazarus is larger than any sauropod I've read about. In fact, the dinosaur is so massive that it serenely ignores most other creatures. I've seen a pack of raptors tear apart small dinosaurs while Brontosaurus continues eating, seemingly oblivious to the hunting pack. Because of how docile it is, the Brontosaurus makes the ideal pack animal. Peaceful tribes use it to carry incredible quantities of resources, while warring tribes use it to mobilize their army. Its size and strength make it one of the unique creatures on the island that can support a platform saddle. Unfortunately, its enormity means that the process of taming a Brontosaurus can take a very long time. Some may think this is an Apatosaurus, Dreadnoughtus, Argentinosaurus, or some other sauropod, but this is a strange island, and I'm the one doing the research. I'm convinced that this genus is Brontosaurus, and no one can tell me otherwise. My study, my rules. Leadsichthys conviviumbrosia is the largest fish in the waters around the island. Its meat is also extremely succulent, a surprise given its size. It is often traded with the same value as prime meat, and colloquially called prime fish. Of course, not all of Leadsichthys' meat is this high quality, but most of it is. While the demand for Leadsichthys meat is high, the fish is notoriously difficult to track and hunt. Between its large size, powerful attacks, incredible speed, and humankind's general ineptitude on open water. It also has an excellent sensory system, often detecting vibrations in water from miles away. Large moving objects in the water, such as rafts, tend to overload their senses and cause them to become irritated. However, the viscosity of honey has been known to confuse its sensory systems and distract them once agitated. Actually killing a Leadsichthys is one of the island's more difficult tasks. The hunt for an extremely elusive breed of the fish, the fabled great albino Leadsichthys, has been known to drive otherwise sensible men and women mad with obsession. as if all evil were visibly personified and made practically assailable in this one creature. Despite its large size, and the fact that it may well be strong enough to carry heavy loads, Lyopleurodon does not appear to be intelligent enough to tame. Nevertheless, some large tribes keep an enormous pen with a few Lyopleurodon trapped inside for cultivating purposes, as bits of prime fish can be repeatedly scraped off the gargantuan beast without killing it. Tussotoothless vampirus is a very aggressive water predator. Approximately 30 feet long, Tussotoothless is a terror of the deep. Once it grabs its prey, it slowly crushes it into submission while using the talons on its tentacles to siphon and drink the victim's blood. Tussotoothless is a terrifying opponent for several reasons. Firstly, its grab slowly renders its victim unconscious, so death isn't the only concern. Secondly, its vampiric blood drain instantly revitalizes it, even during combat. Finally, if Tussotoothless is losing the fight, it sprays a cloud of ink into the surrounding water, blinding its attackers to cover a sneaky escape. One of the major benefits of taming Tussotoothless is harvesting its ink. Unlike normal ink, Tussotoothless's ink is very oily, and can even be refined into fuels such as gasoline. Between that and Tussotoothless's distinctive capability to grab and carry large creatures underwater, it makes for an excellent aquatic tame, despite its slower speed. Today, I witnessed an unforgettable sight: the extremely rare Titanosaurus vagicastrum. Essentially a walking mountain, it is an absolutely enormous sauropod which has developed armored plates of bone protrusions all over its body. Between these plates and its unparalleled size, Titanosaurus is extremely difficult to put down. In addition, Titanosaurus seems outright immune to any sort of narcotic effects. They often inadvertently crush nearby creatures underfoot with every step they take. While most sauropods ignore non-hostile creatures, Titanosaurs take issue with creatures invading its personal space. This is probably because they aggressively feed off any and all plants they can find. Titanosaurus eats constantly, which certainly helps to recover health quickly, even after fighting off numerous carnivores such as Giganotosaurus. If ever a creature were too big, it would be Titanosaurus. You'll hardly see a Titanosaurus with just a saddle and a rider. Its immense size can effectively carry a fortress, defensive emplacements, along with a small zoo. Although the Titanosaur can be domesticated, it's believed the process causes the creature to slowly starve to death from its subsequent refusal to eat. Sincerely, Helena Walker.
Hey everyone, my name is Ned, and thank you so much for watching this video. This project has been the largest undertaking that I've ever actually completed. I feel really accomplished, to say the least. In case you aren't aware, there are 101 dossiers just on the island, and these videos have, at this point, covered every single one. That said, I did not do it alone. The Kickstarter backers, those who actually funded the voiceover work, are really responsible for making this happen, and my body acting team are the ones who made it good. Without them, these videos would be really boring and there wouldn't be enough jumping jacks. Thank you to my patrons for sticking with me and supporting me every month. It's been a huge help in addition to the YouTube ad revenue and super chats. If you'd like to see my videos early and get a few extra perks, you can sign up to my Patreon below, as it's one of the best ways to support future videos and series like this one. We also have a Discord in the description, which you can join as well if you'd like to hang out in our ARK enthusiast community. the last thing I want to say is that I've recently partnered with Nitrado, which is a pretty well-known server provider that does ARK servers. So if you're looking to rent your own server, go ahead and use my affiliate link below, as that really helps to support me again as a creator. With that said, I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.